show in the podcast where typically we're just talking and shooting the shit, but we just did that with you. So instead, I think we're just going to go directly into the podcast, and the music is going to kick in approximately now. Okay. It's warm in here already, though. I might have to take my sweater off. Yo, what's up, yo? What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Woke with Kids, WWK. I'm in Yaze. And to the left of me, the best of me, my destiny.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah.
I'm not rested. While Yaze was napping, I was trying to get the kids to bed, so I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
It's hard. They're tired.
Daddy was bad. No, Daddy's bad. Should have been helping. I should have been helping.
They're exhausting, and it's late, and then it was just later.
Yeah.
And now it's late.
I know what you mean. It's almost 11 o'clock here on the West Coast right now, currently, about 11 o'clock p.m. So I am so sorry, honey. I will put them to bed tomorrow night. I definitely will get that.
Yeah, damn, Skippy, I'm out. I'm not even going to be here.
That's right. You going,
I'm just saying, I mean, and if you're not here, then I put them by myself. But if we're both here, it's kind of nice if we both do it, because then nobody has to do it by themselves when the other person is here.
Right on. That's, you know what? That's one to grow on. I like that. That's one to grow on. That's, I think.
I can promise you.
Apparently that's it.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crunch.
I'm learning from that. I'm learning from The Color Purple, my religion, my book, my Bible, every day. Are you studying the chapter in the Word? I'm learning. I'm growing every day.
That's good.
Yeah.
Everyone should be doing that or trying to.
Yeah, definitely. Can I twist your microphone just so you're talking into the front of it? Perfect. Because everyone loves to hear your voice. Whenever they don't, I always hear things. Okay. So this show is about politics and stuff like that. We're a married couple out of L.A. We started doing this about 3 years ago. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. 3 years ago, we got married in the Obama age, had a baby. We got 2 kids now. We noticed towards the end of Obama's term, maybe you did, that they were shooting a lot of black kids, a lot of black people, putting us in chokeholds, arresting us, and us suddenly dying, stuff like that. It was weird. You remember, weird times.
That was quite a bit after Obama, though.
Yeah, it was after Obama, but it was the beginning of sort of that Black Lives Matter movement. It was right in the last couple of years of Obama, and obviously they've been killing black people well before the Obama years. But we started a podcast about it. Did you? Did you start a podcast? We did. So we started a podcast, and we're still doing it, and you're welcome to it. So let's talk about some Trump be Trumping, shall we? Because that's the guy that we decided should follow the greatest American president in history. So let's talk about Trump a little bit. And you know the greatest thing about Trump is...
Part of the reason I'm here is that I know how to take a joke.
And that's important. You know what I mean? So as long as he's got a thick skin and he's secure in his position as the leader of the free world, I feel comfortable. Do you? Okay. Trump. What is Trump doing, honey?
Talking shit about Representative Congressman Elijah Cummings.
He is. He is indeed doing that.
I haven't even looked it up to actually see what he said because I get real irritated and I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down.
I can understand the sentiment.
And I'm trying to also not allow myself to be as taken in by the obvious distractions that Trump is throwing out left and right. It just feels even more and more obvious that it's don't pay attention to the real shit, like the children still in cages, or possibly the potential Democratic presidential nominees. Don't keep up with what they're saying in contrast to what I'm saying. Or any of the number of crazy things that are happening. Let me see if I can find them that I saved. So, I'll catch the headline, but I have not recently been clicking
Yeah.
Because it just seems like clickbait, and fuck him. I just really am tired of him. And
Well,
I'd rather just
that's legit.
give $5 to Democratic whoever,
Yeah.
progressive whoever, to help get people to vote or whatever. You know, I just don't even want to. I mean, I feel like I got a good grasp, and
Well, I guess that is the thing, man. I feel you. I guess that is the feeling of there's a feeling of exhaustion. There's also a feeling of like, I remember in the beginning when Trump was elected, there was this sense of like, we can't normalize this. We can't.
Yeah.
And I used to wonder even back then, like, what does that mean to normalize it? Does that mean that I have to stay in a state of perpetual outrage where I'm just frothing at the mouth constantly, where I'm reading every headline and I'm, retweeting every single hot take from, who can do that? Who can, and if you do that, if you do become some sort of outrage robot where, just sort of news goes in and fucking feelings come out, then in a way you've been programmed. Like I was kicking it with the homie Dennis this weekend, and, we were reasoning about things, and he sometimes has a very negative stance about the music industry and things like that, which, who can blame him? But in terms of structures or systems or institutions, if you spend all your time hating and dissecting and chopping up and analyzing an institution, in a way you're just another fan, because that's all you think about. Your worship is just negative. You're just hate watching or hate analyzing or, but it doesn't produce anything positive of itself. So what you're saying is absolutely right. And, I didn't watch the debates. They're happening tonight.
I know yesterday. We done missed them again.
They were yesterday? Oh, I totally missed it. I thought it was today.
There is one tonight, and there was also... Oh, one tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 31st?
Yes.
Okay, it's tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
I know if we had really planned it out, we would have did a live thing. That's what I keep suggesting.
Yeah, and I mean, and that could be dope. You're a brilliant producer, of course. So that would be a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the only thing I'm afraid of is, and I guess we'll read about it.
I feel like the live for the live, not necessarily.
Oh, I do what you're saying. I know what you mean. Yeah, I hear what you mean. You can tune in. You can tune in with us. Yeah. That would be dope to do with the kids.
We could do like I don't think so, but
I think they would behave.
Ellison would just be too loud, and then we could do a summary recorded,
right,
to put out as.
Well, we could do that maybe as the Democrats narrow it down to whoever.
Definitely, I don't even.
When they finally decide whether Biden or Kamala is.
Yeah, I feel like it would just drag on, be too much, and basically I would just be like, "What the." It would just be frustrating.
Well, the problem is that I still don't care what the Democrats are talking about yet. It's all this mishmash of free shit.
Crazy.
I mean, it's this mishmash of free shit that I'm all for. I'm all for the free shit. I want free college. I want free healthcare. I want cheap drugs. I want everything that they're promising me. But at the back of it, I'm like, but what are we going to do about these racists? You know what I'm saying? What are we?
Speaking of that, apparently Cardi B sat down with Bernie Sanders.
What?
And prior to, she asked her followers or whatever, what would you want me to ask him? So she said, she was all dressed up, looking very sophisticated.
Okay.
And respectable, and but still herself. I loved it. And she, apparently the main question was what are you going to do about the social, racial inequalities in the country here?
Yes.
And I don't know what he said.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh.
Hi.
Langston dialing in. Yeah, man. Let's find out what the boss wants.
What's up?
Show finished. Elsa, he wants to do iPad on the potty.
Ooh, that's a trick. That's a trick, y'all.
Okay, do it.
That's a good one, though.
What time is it?
It's 11:10 right now. That's a good one.
Okay, set it up for him, please.
Our littlest one is currently potty training. It's a tremendous importance because he's starting preschool, and he has to be potty trained for preschool.
Thank you, babe.
All right. Okay. Anyway.
He's getting it, though.
No, he's getting it. So, yeah, I mean,
we're not here. He does it.
I believe it. I mean, it's all psychological. It's
I
all.
basically told the director, I was like, he's doing good-ish.
As much money as we paying him, I'm sure that they are going to figure out a way to make it work.
She had little kids. I was like, oh, she wiped booties all day.
We're paying for the privilege for them to understand. But yeah, the Democrats right now, they're promising all this free shit, but that's not the issue that I think black people are concerned with, and it's not the issue that Trump is running on. They're addressing everything but the goddamn thing that Trump is running on. And okay, so let's get back to Trump being a racist. Yeah, to you and I, it's old news, but we got white listeners out there. We got hundreds of white listeners out there right now that are wondering right now how they can convince their friends and relatives that Trump is a racist. There's no way you can do it, guys.
This is the thing. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say,
I
no way to do
just
it.
think that, first of all, the people who are saying, I don't think Trump's a racist, I think they just don't care. Because America's racist. The institution of government is racist. The justice system is racist. So I don't think that that's what anyone needs to run on, per se. I don't think that we need to convince people that he's racist and then they're not going to vote for him. That's not going to work.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you there. I think any strategy that's based on Trump is a losing strategy. But what I think is a winning strategy is we got to look back to Obama. And I know that shit sounds hopey and changey because he's not president anymore, but we forget he won 2 elections. He won 2 elections in racist-ass America, the same racist-ass America that elected Trump. And his message was essentially there is something between us. There is something between the redneck in the Appalachians and the young black kid in Detroit or Flint, Michigan. There is something that unites us as Americans, and it is some lofty shit. And I think we're living currently in a preview of what it looks like when we don't have any lofty shit to buffer us, sort of psychologically and spiritually and socially as a country.
Now that the latent racists are becoming more visible and more vocal and more outspoken, I still think that is not as drawing more attention to that divide. The racial divide is not what is going to galvanize people. I think that there might be more advantage and momentum to showing what these Democratic candidates are going to do for people's pocketbook, for their children's education, for their grandparents' health care, for their retirement, for things like that, their jobs. I think, but when you address those issues fundamentally and decrease the divide along those lines, you do in a way also begin to equalize the injustice that is often based in racism. So I think it's kind of like the carrot and the stick or whatever. That convince people that they need to vote for these other people because they're not getting more money and they don't have health care either. Because when you help everyone get that, then you help everyone get that.
Yeah. I want to.
But you can address also the criminal justice system, which does disproportionately affect black people and brown people.
I can dig it. I think I want to believe that people are swayed by rational appeals to their security and well-being, but what I see or what I perceive is like the exact opposite. Trump just is trying to kick 3 million people off food stamps. Most of those motherfuckers are not black. All his tariffs and trade wars are disproportionately hurt the people that elected him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let's not. We don't need to talk to those people about race.
Well, no. I hear what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that Trump is already running that race. He's already running that campaign based on here are all the things that divide us and rile us up. He attacks the squad. Send them back. Right. And then he doubles down on it after the polls come out and his pollsters show that this actually plays well with the Republican base, that they're actually motivated by this racist talk. It puts the battery in their back. Not a new thing, something we know, right? But now that we know this, I think that we have to provide what Trump is essentially is providing them with is the dark side. Like there is a spiritual energy to the dark side. There's something that they can identify with them and that motivates them and that energizes them. And I think on our side we have things that do that too. But I don't think they're things like infrastructure or budget, balancing the budget, or responsible grown up things like that. I think most of our energy is being bottlenecked right now because of Nancy Pelosi's incredibly mature and steady governing hand, holding back, what is essentially sort of this bottle cap of energy that just wants to fucking impeach Trump and just make something happen,
I heard this wonderful interview, I forget the guy, but basically they were saying since Mueller's testimony before Congress, where he essentially was like, I don't think we should try to prosecute a sitting president but once he's out, he could be prosecuted for obstruction of justice and collusion, et cetera, because he's like, the report did absolutely not exonerate him. What someone pointed out is what we could be doing is going after all the lower hanging fruit, which is all of Trump's associates, and prosecute them for their crimes, bar, everybody else who hasn't yet been prosecuted, and going about it that way, because then it really just becomes obvious, even more obvious, that if your whole squad is dirty and they were all taking orders from you, then
I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying.
And we're more likely to be able to get convictions of these lower people who are not basically the sitting president, who is essentially what he's saying, the one person that we can't prosecute right now.
Right on.
I thought that was a worthy approach. I think should be considered. I think that is worthy, and I think it's one of the things that we have to undertake as necessity, as sort of as a rule of law. We have to be prosecuting these crimes, obviously, but again, I think that's those fall into what I think of as the steady, mature hand of governance that I think Democrats are doing an amazing job at, and will never get any credit for, because being the adult, you never get any credit. You don't get any credit for the house not burning down, right? You don't get any credit for not killing your 2 babies, which we're gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear about that? Can we lift this a little bit? Gotta be talking here, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that. It's a horrible story, but people don't get any credit for making sure things don't happen, right? You only get credit for the visible things that people see. So all I'm saying is Democrats can't run on what makes them good. Unfortunately, what they have to run on is something that elevates us, that something is higher, something that is bigger than just need and necessity, because the other side is motivated by more than necessity. They're willing to give up health care. They're willing to give up rights. They're willing to give up, profits. They're willing to give up almost anything in order to keep supporting white supremacy. As long as they can keep doing that, then they're fine. And I think that is we got to provide some sort of counterpoint to that. We got to give them some counter note that people can latch onto, that, like they say, like Michelle says, when they go low, we go high. Well, we're not singing that high note anymore. Our side isn't singing that high note anymore. We're just trying to ignore the low notes. We're just trying to ignore the low. I don't know. That's my metaphor. I'm dragging that as far as it can be drugged. What else? Bunch of GOP people said stuff about Trump being racist. I mean, not being racist. I don't care. Do you care? No.
Okay, good. Here's something that was kind of funny. Trump be Trumping. Did you hear about the doctored seal that Trump appeared in front of?
No.
Oh, yeah. So Trump gave a speech at Turning Point USA, which is a conservative group for students. And whoever was doing the audio-visual tech, they grabbed the wrong presidential seal off the internet. And when I say wrong, it was super wrong, because it was actually a parody seal created by a Trump hater. And the seal was the Russian Federation eagle clutching golf clubs.
Oh my God. What is wrong with people?
And nobody caught it. Nobody caught it. So TPUSA actually had to fire the visual aide who did that, and they issued an apology to the president that they were sorry, and they meant no disrespect to the White House or the president or the advance team. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, young audiovisual student who snuck into the Trump organization and plotted and planned for months and weeks and waited for your opportunity to do the one thing you knew you could do. I see you, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Okay, so that happened, and that was funny, and I liked it. Anything else about Trump?
The fact that he was buddy with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
That's his homie.
Oh, that is the homie.
And
he had to fire some people about that, too. Acosta, the labor secretary.
Yeah, well, that was the hookup.
Yeah.
That was the link.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. What was that all about? I mean, we know Epstein is a pedophilic, rapist, Machiavellian, criminal mastermind. And he got convicted of doing bad things in Florida. And Alex Acosta, the former U.S. Secretary of Labor, who at that time was a prosecutor, for reasons, cut him a really nice deal where he was like basically a slap on the wrist and a rub and tug and like a free ticket to SeaWorld. I don't know what the fuck the punishment was because he's still a billionaire and apparently it wasn't enough for him to stop raping people. So he kept doing that. And that was, yeah. So anyways, fast forward many years, Alex Acosta fails way above his expectations and becomes... I don't know what the fuck the punishment was. So he fails way beyond his expectations and actually joins the Trump administration, and then Epstein gets caught doing bad things again, and now it's coming back to bite him. So, what's up with Florida? What's wrong with it? Why is...
disgusting.
What's up with this sex trafficking? It's a lot of sex trafficking, and there's a lot of sex trafficking involved in this whole thing. Which also brings me back to the other Trump thing that I just got to mention almost every episode we're on. There's like mad children and families separated from their kids on the border right now. And we don't know where these kids are, and the kids are not, I don't think we know where all these kids are. Is that just me?
No, I think we still have some who are essentially lost in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm bothered by that because it feels like a replay of all of America's worst hits at the same time. It's like internment camps with a little bit of like separating babies from their parents, a la slavery, with a little bit of fascism and just some good old racism. I mean, it's just so bad. And you know, the answer to that question you always ask yourself as a woke ass person, what would I do in Hitler days, or what would I do in slavery days, or what would I do in a time of great suffering and oppression when people's rights were being stripped in front of me and it was obvious and naked and clear and right there in your face and evil was very, 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 very clear. Well, now you got your answer. Hey, welcome. Good morning. Yay. Now you know. Whatever the fuck you're doing, that's what you be doing. That's what you be doing. That's what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people are really going to have to decide what are you willing to risk.
Boom. Risk.
Because just posting about it or signing petitions or listening to podcasts is really not it. When do you put something, on the line? Of yours, yeah. When do you risk something?
Oh man, right now we're just putting our words on the line, okay? And that's sometimes that's all you can do. In my tradition in Islam, there's a hadith that said if you can change something with your hands, then do it with your hands. Change it directly. If you can't change it with your hands, then speak out against it. And if you can't even speak out against it, at least condemn it in your thoughts. At the very least, condemn it in your thoughts. So, put your word out there, guys. Speak up. Call your Congress people. Let them know what's going on. Do you want to impeach Trump? Are you tired of this bullshit? Or if you're not, or maybe if you don't want to talk about that, you want to talk about something totally different. That's fine too. But let your voice be heard, because if there's one thing about democracy that I've learned throughout history, my study of history, is that the people absolutely do not have the answers. Absolutely no. But they do have all the right questions. All the important questions, the people have them, and they need to be heard and they need to be addressed. That's my feeling on that. Okay. Is that enough Trump? Are you guys done with enough Trump? Kellyanne Conway asked a reporter what's their ethnicity in the Trump briefing room. That was weird. Anyways, I don't care. I don't want to talk about Trump anymore. Did you know that if you have a Capital One credit card or a bank account, then you just got hacked?
I did see that headline.
Yep, 100 million Americans just got hacked. Your personal information, your social security numbers, your bank balances, everything that a criminal, a 13-year-old Russian kid would need in order to open up accounts in your name and do all kinds of fun things and wreak all kinds of havoc. That just happened. So I hope that you got your Equifax money in to help out with that. I hope you got your Equifax money in. And I all I got to say about that is nothing's going to change until we get a Congress that can actually pass laws and understand the technology behind the world we live in now. Because do you know what all you can do, guys? Mel, you should do this too. All you can do is freeze your credit. Call TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Go to their websites, look up freeze credit, and you freeze your credit. And that way no one can open up accounts. The downside is if you do try to open up a credit line, you have to unfreeze your credit manually. But it's better than...
I already have that. I use Experian. My shit's locked. I have a lock on mine. So I would have to remember to unlock it if I knew I was going to apply for a credit card or get a new phone or anything where they would want to access that record.
Yeah.
And that... so far is working for me.
That's what you got to do. That is what you got to do. Let's turn that up a little bit. So
Where's that comment? Oh, you loved it, but I didn't know what it said.
Oh yeah, it's Auntie Eminem. So and that breach came courtesy of Paige Thompson. Paige Thompson.
I'm gonna go check on the pooping guy.
Okay. Paige Thompson is a 33-year-old woman, a software engineer, and she's alleged to have single-handedly orchestrated this data breach, resulting in more than 140,000 social security numbers and more than 80,000 individual bank account numbers. And I just want to say, shout out to women in tech. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's about goddamn time that some cyber terrorists really, really showed what women were capable of. And I love this. It's kind of like that thing, when black people, back in the 80s, they said black people didn't become serial killers or something. All the stuff black people didn't do, right? We didn't do this. White people did this. White people serial killers. Black people don't do that crazy shit. And then we found out that like the DC sniper was a black dude. And we were like, oh shit, wow, black people have leveled up in terms of insanity. Now Paige Thompson. Paige Thompson is now your supervillain extraordinaire. This incredibly intelligent, incredibly capable woman has hacked into Capital One, and I hope she got a ton of money, and I don't know what's going to become of her life now, but I hope she's got squirreled away safely in some cryptocurrency that she can only access after she gets out of a white collar prison. So bravo, Paige Thompson. And freeze your credit. What else is going on? Let me see. Some more headline news, guys. So, wow. Oh, man. They shooting, You heard this, right? Yeah. They are shooting. It's bad. It's not a good thing. Yeah, it's bad. A lot of people are getting shot because apparently people are cheaper than bullets. So, 2 people were killed, and there's a suspect in custody and shooting at a Mississippi Walmart, right? That comes closely on the heels of a shooting in Gilroy, California. That's our home state. A garlic festival, which is so fucked up because garlic is such a wonderful flavoring, and it's so specific. What do you have against garlic lovers? You know what I mean? We got to talk about hate crimes, y'all. I mean, garlic, y'all. It's not even safe to love garlic. It's a very, very sad place we live in. I don't mean to make light of this, but I mean, like, really, you can't go nowhere. Like, where, like, that's not a meeting of, that's not a religious grouping. That's not a group of people that you went to school with that you hate because they tormented you as a child. It's not, it's people coming together to get stinky breath. And even that is like a viable target for some, maniac with a gun. So, it's just, so guns. I don't even know. Can we do anything about it? Until we have a Congress that can pass laws, we're just talking. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got on headline news. Obama came out, subtweeted Trump. That was fun. I haven't heard anything about Obama in a long time, but honestly, I'd rather him just stay perfect and in my memory and unsullied by these dirty, dirty times that we live in. But, it's like there's no winning. Like, you can't come out anymore and be liked. That's just not the environment that we live in anymore. Trump wins because he's the best at swimming through sewage. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up Trump again. All right, let's move into something happier, okay? Let's move into catching hell. Unless you have something else, headline news, Mel. I'm sorry.
I don't know the difference anymore.
Fair enough. You can interrupt
this
anytime.
Is from a week and a half ago. R. Kelly.
Oh, that guy.
Brought into custody.
Yay!
He will be arraigned on August 2nd on racketeering conspiracy charges, alleging he groomed young girls he met at concerts and later sexually abused them. Also, his former employee, Milton Brown, came in from Las Vegas, pleaded not guilty to a charge of conspiracy to receive pornography. Faces a mandatory minimum 5 years in prison if convicted and up to 20 years. So, that's still happening.
Nobody listening to this podcast is listening to R. Kelly, right? It's not possible, right? I'm going to be honest with you, though. Apple Music makes it difficult to scrub all the R. Kelly out of your system. Like, I have erased R. Kelly multiple times only to find this motherfucker done did a remix of somebody's album, you know what I'm saying? And then he'll pop up on the shit, and then I'll be like, damn it. It's frustrating, but you got to do it. You got to keep scrubbing, okay? R. Kelly, terrible person. What else you got, baby?
Okay, so did anyone else see the news that Beyonce or her team may have I don't know if it's called like plagiarism when it's not written, but basically a lot of the imagery from the video from Spirit and Bigger, from her recent Lion King The Gift release, lifted numerous images, maybe almost frame for frame, from visual work from two other artists, one musician known as Petite Noir, and it was the video called La Maison Noire, The Gift and the Curse, and Noir Wave. So they collaborated on a visual music art piece video. And when you see the images side by side, it's kind of disturbing.
Oh, wow.
So here's Beyonce on the bottom. I mean, that one right there, we got that looks the same. That definitely is similar. That looks almost exactly the same.
Could y'all see this if we show it to them?
Sure, however you want to do that.
Can y'all see this?
Angle it down. There we go. And
Shot
I mean,
for
they
shot.
have like 10 different slides that show all of the similar frames and shots.
Now this is so they didn't attribute this in.
No.
Okay, that's not good.
And this one. There's that. I mean, this one is like basically to use the exact same color schemes in like if you got red people in red and water, and they got people in red and water. I don't know. It's just like they didn't. I mean, sheesh, Louise. They didn't really change much at all.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
there's that. I mean, you know, everyone's like, oh, they're paying homage or whatever, but at the same time, it's kind of not an homage. And, you know, these are people coming up with original ideas and trying to make their way. And so when you are arguably one of the biggest entertainers in the world, it just doesn't really send the right message to take so liberally from another artist's work, period.
Wow.
And because you're so much bigger in terms of your platform and your money and your access than this younger, these newer artists, it's completely an unfair advantage. I mean, the same thing happened to Kendrick Lamar. It was very quiet as kept. But for, I forget what video, but he had this beautiful like tapestry art that had like gold woven throughout. And the artist, who's the one that posted this, Lena Iris Victor, she pointed it out. She was like, oh, they asked me to use it. And I said, hell no. And they basically used it anyway. So, I mean, I'm not going to say Beyonce herself was like, fuck it, let's do it. Or Kendrick himself was like, fuck it, let's do it. But there is something to be said for the entertainment industry at large and the team and the people who decide what's going to be used in either not explaining exactly where these ideas are coming from to the artist, and certainly giving the go-ahead to just take as much as they want and produce it in this new way and call it their own work. So, I mean...
Well, you know, it's that's interesting, too, because one
other thing.
Yeah.
And I think what was really... frustrating for me was that this is not the first time Beyonce has been accused of this. So for her Lemonade video, there were a lot of imagery from that had been borrowed, influenced by a documentary from New Orleans. And I heard about it because I knew the guy who produced it. And he was like, this is definitely our shit. And this is and then... You know, they came out like, no, we paid the distributor for it. And he was like, yeah, that doesn't really help us creatively, much less, you know, so on that aspect, maybe they paid somebody. But in terms of the artist and your creative ideas and energy and copyright and blood, sweat, and tears that you took, to make it, that, you know, maybe there's no amount of money that's worth borrowing that or you're using that. And in their case, they were like, yeah, we didn't see any of that money.
I find the conversation extremely interesting. Tamara was also echoing your comment that it's not the first time she's been called out for copying things. I think at a certain level it's impossible not to be called out for something. I think a very interesting case that's sort of related is Katy Perry is getting sued for her...
The Christian rap song.
For the Christian rap song, Joyful Noise. They say they stole from Joyful Noise for Dark Horse, and but like they've had musical theorists who've looked at the songs, and it's like they're different. They're melodically different. There's whoa, that's fun. They're significantly different, and but they do have, to the untrained ear, very similar sort of compositional aspects. So it's like, if I made a movie and I referenced a ton of Tarantino gimmicks, right? Could someone sue me for, you know, ripping off Tarantino? Or do there simply exist, because this is the way art is made, building blocks of art that we all use? You know, like there are 12 notes that musicians have access to in the Western scale. Actors and dramatists have, you know, a limited range of, there's a character types, there are plots, there's there are books that tell you the 9 character types, and like, you know, these are all the plots you can write, and so like if somebody steals a plot or borrows a plot or rehashes a plot, it isn't considered, you know, copyright infringement. So it's a weird place for getting.
It is, and I think, I mean, like, who decides how much is too much? And I think in this one, because thematically the video was so similar, I think that's where it just really just looks like outright copying.
I see. I can dig that. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can kind of get into that.
And I think also that or in like Kendrick Lamar's case. Like with the Lemonade, I was less, I mean, I'm not even truly upset. But with Lemonade, I think it was less so because it was clips from their film and they paid.
Yeah.
Somebody. Now, as the artist who actually created it, I understand feeling frustrated that, you know, it's now in this thing that maybe you wouldn't have wanted it to be in. But unfortunately, it's kind of like if you don't own your masters, so to speak, you know, it's likely or like
because he had to
happen.
he had to put it in the market for it to be accessible in that way.
You know, and it was, she didn't totally sell. Now this, I don't know exactly the case, but this one I think is more frustrating because thematically and for so many shots, it's very, I mean, if you, like color scheme similar, shape and choreography similar.
Yeah.
The themes, how it goes from group to single to the flowing to the beaded to the in the water. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
So what would make it right? Get out of here.
I mean, I just think if it wasn't, the whole damn video was almost identical.
No, but I mean, but like, assume, let's say that you do want to make an identical or a, you know, something, you want to borrow these elements to make the thing that you make. Is there a way to?
I think
to
it would have
utilize
been.
them?
I would have been less frustrated, similarly to the Lemonade video, where she used clips of it, but she had so many other elements in that video where the whole thing didn't make you think back to this reference.
But she still got in trouble for Lemonade a little bit for that. But I guess what I'm getting at is that is like if she gave attribution, if she
I don't
you know,
personally, no.
You don't
on
think
this one, like for example, this one in particular, this new one, it's so much lifted and quote unquote influenced by that I don't know that just giving credit would be enough because you're arguably one of the biggest entertainers in the world. So it's like, why would you take so much from this other artist? Like, just why?
So then is the only way
like
then
just come up with your own shit.
Sure. So but then is the only way to patronize an art form that you love if you are a successful artist is to, how then do you patronize in this era? Because I feel like the problem is attribution, because for all the ways that dude might have felt about the footage from New Orleans, it's like we're talking about him because Beyonce, not because I knew his work beforehand. In the same way, you know, I absolutely never heard a Joyful Noise before I read an article about Katy Perry. And
right, but you're not going out to go buy Joyful Noise music.
No, but I listen. But they got at least one spin-off YouTube for me.
And
watching.
the documentary by the guys about the bounce didn't necessarily get more views. They didn't make any more money, even though it was more closely attributed.
Maybe not that film. Maybe not. But I bet you anything the next project that they went to work on when they went in to say that our you know, we're the guys that Beyonce. I
don't know about the director,
but
but knowing the producer, that is a no.
Oh, that didn't work. Nothing happened.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And with this, I mean,
I don't know that dude. Maybe he didn't know how to flex it. I don't know.
Enough. I didn't really capture a lot of attribution in this most recent article here. So.
Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know either. Because I don't know. Because I also don't know. We're only going one generation back. So, like the source material that Beyonce is sampling, where did they get that from?
Oh, that's the other thing too. I mean, it's so current. I think that's the other thing too. I mean, there's an article of that artist speaking with Mos Def, and you know they have like a dialogue, and he's talking about their collaboration and why quote unquote their style or whatever noir wave is basically, the headline is about to take over pop culture. And he literally says, the question is, or you've described noir wave as African influences meets new wave, but more than just music, it's art in general. Could you elaborate on this? He says, music is spiritual and people find freedom in it. It touches the mind, body, and soul. Noir wave is a culture, a lifestyle, drone life. It's going to be the new pop culture soon. Beyonce, Future, and all these people are going to be singing tour nave shuffles. So, I mean, he kind of calls it out years before. And I think, you know, that's just part of maybe the irony is that here she is. A few years later,
Yeah, well, I mean,
copying frame for frame.
yeah, I guess. Well, then that's just poor planning. If you know it's going to happen, then you got to be ready to capitalize on that. But anyway,
Well, who knows? Maybe you will. I mean, it just came out.
Exactly. So. I mean, Burna Boy just released the album. I don't know the name of it, but it's like it's supposed to be his, his big American debut, his crossover record. He's the new Sean Paul of Nigeria. So maybe it feels like the time that our African cousins are going to make their presence felt in the culture, and Beyonce is nothing if not adaptable, and that is why she's the queen. And all hail to the queen. I ain't mad at her. I'm still. I want to know. Tell me if somebody told me that the video that she referenced was created from whole cloth, when I know it isn't, because it's representing Yoruba imagery, it's representing religious imagery. It's like. If Madonna makes a video, if somebody makes a video with a statue of Jesus, you're going to be like, oh, Madonna did it first. But it doesn't mean you can't use a statue of Jesus. You can't give a lap dance to a statue of Jesus ever again in a video.
No, I mean, I don't know if that's a good analogy, because she could certainly reference Yoruba culture and spirituality.
Yes.
But maybe she should use a different color palette. Like, maybe she should use different choreography.
Right, but that's my point. Like, when it comes to some of these religious things, like, there isn't... The choreography and the colors are the thing, like...
Yeah, I agree, but again, there's ways to... I mean, even just to avoid plagiarism, like, you can say the same thing. You just have to say it using completely different words.
A better question is, can Black Americans, descendants of the cotton pickers... culturally appropriate Africans?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the
answer to that. I'm just putting that out there. I'm throwing that grenade out there, that thought grenade to the audience to think about that. Because this is something we're going to, because what it sounds like, this conversation does sound like a cultural appropriation argument.
I mean, in this particular one, but I think also it's more about, stealing other creative intellectual property, because the last time she did it, it wasn't necessarily an African artist.
Right. It was a Black person. It was a...
So,
but it was a different culture. But it was still a different culture. It was New Orleans.
No, but she's from Houston, so it's not... she's next door. So it's not... I think she felt very close to it.
Fair enough.
And that's why it came across her radar. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's perfect for what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So, I mean, she was cousins with that. It still just wasn't something she shot.
Okay, so then by your wording, you do somewhat sympathize with the idea that maybe we can commit cultural appropriation.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't know, and I have yet to really see how and it's done well, quote unquote, or like what is the right way. I don't know, but I think avoiding the conversation is not it.
You know what I think?
I think not mentioning it and not being really transparent. Just be like, for Lion King, we really wanted to dive into African culture, which is like kind of crazy because it's 52 countries and so many different tribes and cultures.
Africa, what do you mean?
But so there's that.
It's the country of Africa.
So there's that. All of which is typified by this one movie, The Lion King.
Yeah.
So there's that, but I think that, again, with there being such a rich array of things to pull from, you basically find this one dude and these two dudes in this one video and basically got all your ideas from one. Right. When there are so many images and... Are we now saying what is Yoruba in the Lion King? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're making leaps here to basically justify using the bombest shit you found on the internet, and I think that's what's fucked up.
Yeah, but in a weird way,
it wasn't because, for example, just want to say Black Panther. It didn't feel like appropriation. They went there and they researched and they studied and they utilized the artisans from different countries, and they didn't just pick one and basically lift everything from one other production designer or costume designer who had already made shit. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. But they themselves went to South Africa. They went to multiple countries. They went to multiple countries. She took the inspiration and literally made new shit and combined it and created something new that does not exist already in any one of those places. Yeah.
Which is my preference always. I'm with you.
And all of it refers back to it in a way that tries to honor the authenticity of it. So if that's what Beyonce was doing, she could look to Ruth Carter and Hannah Beachler and all these other people who created the aesthetic of Black Panther as an example of how to pay homage and respect and basically utilize as much as possible from various tribes and cultures in Africa to tell your story.
Speaking of which, have you seen the new Madonna video? I think it's important that we see some of this.
Why?
Because this is about the same thing you're talking about, like with Beyonce, only this is Madonna doing her version of this. This just came out.
Well, I don't know. I saw a thing where she had her black daughter taking a photo with watermelon. So
I saw that one too. Which is what made me look this up. And I started looking at it, and I was like,
maybe she's trying to educate some white people on shit. So,
but the fact that she is surrounded by, you guys see what I see. You see, she's surrounded by these black women who are singing these traditional songs. She is literally sitting with them and sort of literally in some ways wrapping herself in these robes in their identity.
I'm still waiting to see her.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, this is by no means excusing it, but Madonna is like the queen of this. Because she did the whole like Bindi Indian thing, and she vogued. She took everything she could.
I can't play much more because they'll shut us down.
She took as much as she could from gay culture and the ballroom scene.
Yes, she originated this whole concept.
Right.
I'm talking about
this is like her thing.
Yes. So, but all I'm saying is that.
So I guess maybe we're just a little disappointed to see Beyonce fall into that.
Well, you know what?
Okay, I gotta go check on the pooping child because turns out he wasn't pooping earlier. They couldn't find my iPad, and he was just chilling. They were just crying about it. So then I went in and gave him the iPad and said, "Okay, I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes."
Oh my gosh, they are good. Okay, well while she's gone, I will show you some lovely videos which will make you.
Also, you can share this because I thought it was hilarious. This is from a week ago. They're in the heat wave.
Braintree Police Department. Oh, Charles M. Blow, my favorite. I love this guy. Folks, due to the extreme heat, we are asking anyone think that he posted this. He reposted the Braintree Police Department, okay, yesterday. Folks, due to the extreme heat, we are asking... Do you know who Charles Blow is, by the way? Look him up. Folks, due to the extreme heat, we are asking anyone thinking of doing criminal activity to hold off until Monday. It is straight up hot as soccer balls out there. Conducting criminal activity in this extreme heat is next level henchman status and also very dangerous. Stay home, blast the AC, binge Stranger Things Season 3, play with the face app, practice karate in your basement. We will all meet again on Monday when it's cooler. Sincerely, the Popo. P.S. Please no spoilers. We'll just finish in Season 2. This is an actual Facebook post from a Massachusetts police department. Oh my god. That is hilarious. It was super hot. It was super hot. I felt it even out here. It normally doesn't even get that crazy hot out on out by the coast where we live. Not to brag. But it got super hot, and what can I say, man? This climate change can't get bad enough for some people. Some people, it just can't get bad enough. They're not scared. They want to see where this is going. They're going to ride this out. Maybe they think they're Lex Luthor. They're going to have seafront property once the glaciers wash up on this bitch and like wash away 3/4 of the country. I don't know. It's going to be Kevin Costner. We're going to be out here with gills and shit. I don't know. But to me, I'm scared. Okay, it's hot. It's too hot. I don't like it when it's too hot or it's too cold. That's why I came to California. Now I'm living in paradise, and I gotta live with heat waves because y'all want to drive. I'm incensed. Okay. Anyway, what else did you hear? Did you see the one? Oh, this is a good one. I'm gonna say that one for yes, y'all. Did you see this one where Arian Foster was talking to Tommy Lauren? This is a good one. Do you guys like
Now,
Tommy
something
Lauren?
I know that we firmly disagree on, besides
Check this out.
the place of government.
Oh, I want Mel to
our
see
current
this too.
president. What is your single biggest issue with Donald Trump as president?
Hold up. So, anyways, I'm gonna let Mel come back before I show this one. This is a good one because he really replies to everything she says in the way that I wish that these brainwashed Negroes with delusions of mistresses, vagina, having their brains, and they sort of just shed all of their dignity and self-respect every time and a passable looking white woman says something to them. Well, that's not what happened here. This one, in this instance, Arian Foster took Tommy Loren to task, and I was here for it. So let's listen to a little bit, and let's see if I can find one that I really liked.
Arian Foster joined Colin Kaepernick and Neil.
Okay, it was funny because he says something about I can't find it now. But he says something about kneeling, and she's like, "Oh, maybe this is it."
And I think that's what...
Pause it. Play that smirk Foster gives...
Oh, this guy's going to... this is not the right one. This guy's talking all the way through. Okay, I'll just tell you. Anyway, so she's like, he's talking about kneeling, and she's saying why she's against kneeling because she doesn't think that you should have political displays on a football field. And he goes, that's logically inconsistent. And he says, I wish I could find this for you. Hold on. And that's so good. Arian Foster, Tommy Loren. Stretch for me, honey, so I can...
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was asking if you thought this was funny.
I did. I read him that. It was hilarious. That shit was so funny. Oh my god. The piece said sincerely to Popo.
I want to say they signed it to Popo. What? We will all meet again on Monday when it's cooler.
Oh my god.
That tickled me.
It's so funny. Okay, this is the one. I hope it is.
Former NFL player Arian Foster and Tommy Lahren battle it out.
Oh, this is terrible. I can't find the thing.
NFL ban.
Maybe we should just skip that part.
Okay, fine. That's good. Okay, so he goes, that's logically inconsistent because we sing the national anthem. You got flags flying everywhere, and the army shows up and recruits in the goddamn stands all through the whole show. Like it's nothing but propaganda and political presence and political fanfare. The NFL has a contract with the U.S. military for some reason. It's like all this stuff is political. So the idea that there is anything that you can do anymore that doesn't have a political charge or a political weight to it is just fucking absurd. So bravo. And I was saying before you got here, I was like, the reason I liked it so much is because I'm just tired of like black men always seemingly being disintegrated by even just passable looking white women that give them the slightest bit of attention. Like finally a dude withstanding the kryptonite. And bravo, Arian, you're an NFL player with heart, and I respect you, bro. That's it. What else you got? For that one at least.
I don't know where we are thematically, but
it's kind of Catching Hell /
She's Gotta Have It got canceled.
That's Catching Hell. That's sad. I wanted that to come back, but I kind of understand why it isn't.
I am not surprised in the least. I did not enjoy season 2 that much.
No.
And we talked about it at length on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the sense from the Twitterverse, etc., that a lot of people had problems with season 2, and I could imagine that viewership declined. So Netflix, they'll cut a good show. In
a heartbeat, and they don't have extra money anymore.
And they
don't have extra money.
Nope, I heard that for the first time, membership declined after this last raise.
That happened. They lost friends. This
last increase in the monthly fee or whatever.
Well, it was the increase, but also they lost a bunch of flagship shows as NBC and Warner Brothers and HBO claw back and Marvel claw back all of their Disney, they claw back all of their properties. One
of the comments here said, "I'm glad it was canceled. The storyline was trash."
Well, I understand.
Some people say, "What the fuck, Netflix?" We don't agree. So,
well, yeah, not that Twitter's ever been uniform in its opinion, but the reason I was disappointed is because I didn't enjoy the first season that much because I really am anchored in the first movie. It's misogyny and it's problems because I like art that does that. I like art that's fucked up, you know. That's kind of the safe place for art to be. That's the safe place for fucked upness for me. So I felt like the first season of the show was kind of a much safer, politically correct rehash of that plot line. And maybe the only mistake they made was they kept calling it She's Gotta Have It, because it could have been easily introduced as a totally different show with a totally different set of characters. You know, like, it didn't have to be those same characters. The plot, the blackness of it, the blackety blackness of it was intoxicating to me. And we don't have to rehash the whole goddamn thing again because you're right. I do remember this conversation. Okay. Here's a good one. Let's move on to something happier and get the hell out of here.
I think I only have one really good thing.
Go for it.
Mahershala Ali is going to be playing Blade.
That's pretty cool. That's
in
pretty
the
cool.
new
Yeah.
Marvel Phase 4.
That's pretty cool. I can get a lot of great things about what's happening with Marvel, but you're right. That is one of his
And,
strengths.
you know, on his post, he put his face side by side with Wesley Snipes, so he's clearly there for the respectful passing of the torch. I'm very excited to see all my black actor faves in Phase 4.
Absolutely. Tessa Thompson.
Right in Thor, and she's
Queen
the
of
king,
Asgard.
and now
King of Asgard.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Brian Tyree Henry's in the Eternals,
Yep.
as is Kumail Nanjiani, which is like,
who got
okay.
ripped, who now I understand. I saw him on.
Well, he did that movie Stuber, so maybe he bulked up after that. Maybe
I saw him on Hot
maybe
Ones.
the guy gave him tips.
He had guns, and I was like, "Oh, what's he
Well,
plotting?" I was like, "What's this dude plotting on?" Okay.
What's her name? Tiana Paris is gonna play Rambeau, Monica Rambeau, in whatever that one's called.
Yep. The original Miss Marvel.
Right.
She was the original Miss Marvel.
So that was thrilling. Actually, I was very excited for that, and
No doubt.
a few others where I was like, okay.
Yeah, Marvel is definitely blacking it up, and also getting very, very gay, which is great. They're doing a lot of outward LGBTQ representation, which is awesome. Tessa Thompson, as we mentioned, is the King of Asgard. She's on the books now. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Valkyrie, her character, is bisexual, and that Valkyrie is going to get her a queen in this next Thor. And what's interesting is that Jane, the woman that played Jane Foster, is coming back, and in the comic books, she became Thor.
In the movie, she's
about to become Thor.
At Comic-Con, they gave her the hammer or whatever.
I'm just saying, I'm
whatever
thinking
his name is.
King of Asgard
And Natalie Portman. Hey,
Oh, shit,
here for
love
it.
triangle.
I'm here for it.
Look, I'm seeing love triangle. It's gonna be amazing. This is gonna be amazing, guys. So okay,
I'm very impressed with Kevin Feige and Marvel, and they just doing the damn thing. I mean, this is what I think I love so much about the whole thing. How they did the MCU, the 20 films and whatever. It was just really masterful storytelling to be able to continue that storytelling arc over the course of all of those movies.
Yes.
Each with their own individual storylines and compelling narratives, even if it followed a particular formula, to really take us on that journey, and then to have clearly thought out what they're calling Phase 4, which is exactly what it is, and to then expand it to this degree. Some are going to be standalone movies, some are going to be series. It's really great.
we've never seen this before. I mean, they got
Not with like
WandaVision.
studio money. You know, we're so used to that being more, for lack of a better word, like vapid entertainment.
Yeah.
But this is really thoughtful storytelling that I'm happy to see return and to actually be combined with like big blockbuster filmmaking.
Well, they figured out if they give you an infinite amount of channels, then some of those channels can be good, and the rest of them can be reality TV and whatever the fuck, you know. But like but now there is a market for long form storytelling with good special effects. The WandaVision story is very interesting because they're going to do it on a television show, and then that show is going to culminate in Wanda being in Doctor Strange's movie, and it's like,
I mean, it's
what a time to be alive, guys. Except for all the Trump. It's a fucking amazing time.
Some parts are really cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't want to play the video of this, but I do want to mention the North Carolina woman. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The North Carolina woman who walked over to the table of black women and told them that they were the rudest women she had ever met. You ever seen this?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. Now I feel like I do have to play it. Hold on.
I heard about the black couple that the dude was trying to propose to his girl in the orchard.
Oh,
and they was like, you stole a t-shirt. They were like, what the fuck? And then they were like, no, you did.
A doctor.
They were like, let us check your bags. They're like, oh, these your friends? We got to check their bags. And it was crazy.
Worst proposal ever. That's like some shit on the wrong. That's like some shit on the wrong
yes,
time.
Of course, just the angry orchard just fucked their shit.
Now you gotta think about that shit forever.
Well,
okay.
the manager got fired and...
Yeah, that is true. They want that black money. You can't lose that black money in the South. That's the one thing I will say about the South. You can be racist in the South, but you can't be that racist in the South because niggas will shut you down. You can't make it without nigga money in the South. I'm going to just be real clear with you. Sorry to use that language. I know some of y'all haven't heard me use that before and y'all new to the show, but it's late. Okay, here it is.
Yes.
So I am shocked because this person had the audacity right here to come to our table and tell us that we are the rudest people that she has ever met.
Oh my God.
She told us we are getting off work, we paying for our food just like everybody else.
Look at the body,
and she told us that we are the rudest people ever. Here's the thing. What you gotta understand is that you don't know what people going through. Oh, you want to come over here?
Oh, see? She escalating.
Yes, you will.
Now the white woman is coming up. You can't see this, y'all, but the white woman is walking over.
That are black, and I love them.
We never said anything about color. We never said anything. So here's the thing. Let me understand.
You're too loud.
We're too loud.
In your opinion, let me show you my money. It's just as green as yours.
Right. Oh, you're so stupid.
I'm sorry, what you guys did not hear was you're so stupid, nigger.
Call you black man.
So she basically just called us
that you don't call y'all. They're not like you.
They're not like you.
A woman from Belarus.
So that happened in 2019, Trump's America, AD.
Raleigh,
North Carolina. That's a city, y'all. That's not the country. That's a major city with an airport and colleges and a branch of the ACLU. I must imagine.
We don't really believe that makes a difference, do we?
I just want you to understand that this is happening everywhere. That like in every corner of America this can happen. This white woman, she was smiling the whole time. She was very to be filled with glee. And when the news came and found her later...
Oh, I did see that.
You saw that part?
Yeah.
She said she would say it again.
Yeah.
She said that I'm a 71-year-old woman who suffers from anxiety. Now, I want y'all to be... That's why I said pay attention to her body language. Where was the anxiety in her smile?
Well, I'm going to say this. Anxiety can manifest and look a lot of different ways.
To come over to my table?
This is what I'm saying. If she got anxiety and so loud talking or whatever bothers her, stay your ass at home.
Stay your ass where it's
quiet. Not other people's fault that you can't handle it.
If you could see... I'm sorry. You're right. I'm cutting you off. I don't mean to. But like there is liquor behind them.
I mean, why? Maybe you shouldn't be out in public at certain times.
Oh my God. So,
if I have anxiety and I feel like I'm going to be overwhelmed by loud noises, I don't go to amoeba music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go to loud places and expect everyone else to accommodate me. And I certainly don't go up to people and be like, you too loud. I'm trying to do my thing.
Look, furthermore, if I'm racist and I can't stand niggas, I'm not taking myself to a place where it's full of niggas, okay? I'm just going to stay my ass in my racist ass home with my Elvis Presley poster, and I'm going to watch...
Or go to Cracker Barrel or whatever.
You know what I mean? Or Denny's, Chick-fil-A. There are plenty of places for you where your kind can gather and y'all can all have mayonnaise and the most lightly salted chicken that you desire. I'm from there. I'm from North Carolina and Virginia, and I'm just like, I remember being called nigga as a kid, and for some reason, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm an eternal optimist. This is the problem with being an optimist as a black person, is that every year you think, this is the last year anyone's ever gonna call me nigga, or I'm, you know what I'm saying, or I'm ever gonna have to be confronted with that word as a casual epithet. And then this woman shows up, 71-year-old economic anxiety woman voting for Trump, showing up at my table to tell me I'm too loud because I'm drinking at my table and enjoying my, you know what I'm saying? I'm too loud. Oh my God! Oh my God!
I mean, they throw that around even if people aren't imbibing.
It's just, and I have black friends. I love them. I have black. They're not
like you.
You know what they are? They're deferential. They never question you on your shit, and they lick your.
And more importantly, I doubt that they would call you their friend.
Thank you.
If you've never seen or heard them, I feel like if you've never heard them be loud,
your maid don't count.
Then you're not really friends.
Your maid don't count. Your maid don't count. Your housekeeper don't count. Okay, the woman you pay doesn't count. Your hairdresser doesn't count. Your nail technician doesn't count. These aren't your friends. These people do not like you.
I love the saying where it's like, if you're a white person and your black friend has never talked to you about the microaggressions or racism that they have experienced, then you're not really friends. If they don't talk about the experience of being black in America,
amen to that.
Then you're not really friends.
That's real.
If they don't ever share that with you and open up to that and include you in that side of their experience here, you're not really friends.
Yeah, co-sign that. I believe that.
My white friends, they know.
Yeah, if that's real talk. Like before we can,
because that's what I talk to my friends about sometimes.
There's a huge wall between the real me and you're right. You're absolutely right. Like
we can be associates, acquaintances,
we can work together,
casual, whatever,
for years. Yep,
but we're not friends if there's this whole side of my life experience that you know nothing about and that I've never felt comfortable enough to share with you.
Unbelievable. Well, look, the woman said she used the word because it was offensive, because she knew it would hurt. She was using the only thing she could weaponize. And it just goes to show that my worst fear is coming true, that at least on the extremes, this hatred is becoming weaponized. It's becoming sharp. It's becoming pointed. You know, like Trump didn't have to say anything to get those people to be like, send her back. It was like that shit was in them, ready to come out, just waiting to leak out. And I think that we got to deal with a lot of karma, man, that we haven't dealt with civil rights. I mean, haven't dealt with since the Civil War, since slavery. You know, they had a poll.
America as a country has a lot of karma that they have yet to deal with.
We just won't deal with this shit. Now, they just did a poll talking about the majority of Americans are against reparations. Only like 29% or something like this.
Well, of course, we're coming for your shit.
Thank you. I mean, like, who the fuck with me? Then I read this article also about this woman, this woman who's suing a teacher who's suing a black school district.
Oh, she said she got fired because she was white.
Because she was white, yeah. And it's like, guys, justice can't work unless some of y'all lose your job. It just, I'm sorry, I don't even know how to, I'm trying to be real with you so we don't have to pull the bandage off like bit by bit.
Yeah, it's not about equality, it's about equity.
Yeah, some of y'all got this shit by the wrong way. Some of y'all grandpappy stole this.
Everyone gets the same job. It's like some other people got to get more shit.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry grandpa stole a bunch of shit. I'm sorry he stole a bunch of shit, and then the people he stole it with showed up like 3 generations later and was like, hey, we want our shit back.
Whatever happened with the farmers in South Africa when they was like, we about to take some of this land back?
They took it. But the genius of South Africa is that they didn't kick all the white people out and they didn't disenfranchise them. They said, you're in this country, you ain't leaving. So if you're going to do business, you got to do business with black people, you know. But by keeping the white people involved, it didn't ostracize South Africa from the investment money from Europe and Asia and all that good, you know, that money that we wanted. The reason African countries and third world countries usually sit in shit is because they don't have access to the same credit lines as the countries that are, you know, Western civilized countries. But so the same thing happened in Kenya, actually. They did a fascinating study, at least I found it fascinating, where they compared Kenya to Uganda. And they both got liberated around the same time. But Uganda, under Idi Amin, who was a crazy motherfucker that ate people, but very entertaining and charming, he kicked out all the white people. He was just like, fuck the white people, all y'all out. Kenya was like, y'all stay put, but you now have a business partner. Every white person in Kenya now has a new business partner, a new black business partner that has to be fully invested and have equity in the company for you to do business. They fast forward 20 years later, Uganda is a fucking, rotten out husk, and Kenya is still relatively prosperous.
And I think that was part of the conversation with the farming situation in South Africa, that some of them were like, but these black people don't even know how to farm. We've been doing it for generations. So it's like, okay, time to teach.
Well, time to teach.
Partner up.
Transfer that knowledge.
Basically.
What do you think we're talking about here? What do you, so
we don't want the farms to go down.
That's right. Okay, so let's, I got one more thing, and then I'm out of things. But this is some good news. This is actually, I love when kids are educated, poised, and able to respond correctly to situations. And the correct response is not always written down, but I think this guy nailed it. So I'm just going to play this and then we'll talk about the context.
You know what? My name is Timmy Jones. I'm the councilman with the city of Florida. Stick the camera back up again,
I'm not even asking about all that. I'm just asking you, what dent did I put in your car?
It's right here, dude. Come on, you can't see that? I can.
What are you talking about? You good? So are we calling the police still or what?
Fucking right, I'm gonna call the police, dude. Especially when you sit there. You could have said, hey, sorry about that, and we could have both rode our separate ways. Now you get out of the car and say, oh, there's no dent, and I didn't do that. Come on, dude. Who are you fucking playing, man?
You just pulled. I don't even know what dent you're talking about.
Dude, there's only one dent there, dude.
All right, can you show me?
You betcha. It's right here, dude. Come over here on the side, and you can sit there and look at it.
Wait. Come here. Look. You see where I'm parked, right? Tell me, is that over here where you're talking about?
You're right.
All the way over here.
I agree, dude.
All the way.
Shut the door a little bit.
Shut it? Where?
No, I said shut your door a little bit so we can look at it, man. Dude, that was just uncalled for. You could have said something.
No. What did I
know your parents did. Hey, I know your parents didn't bring you up that way to just say, bump somebody's car and you get in the car like nothing's wrong, and then you say to me,
hold on, wait. Watch out.
You knocked the phone out of my hand, dude.
Oh, watch out, sir. You just said that I hit right here. Right. And it doesn't even hit over there. It's all the way right here. So please tell me, what dent did I put right here? But anyways, let's call the police, like you said.
Yeah.
All right.
Call them up, dude.
No, you said you were going to do it.
Dude, just have a little common courtesy is all I'm asking for, dude.
Hey, man, just go on with your day. I'm not even worried about it. All right.
Masterful.
So if he had made a dent, it would have been in a different spot.
Yeah,
where there was no dent.
The young man, the 17-year-old young man, he's parked next to this guy's car. The guy is pointing to, I guess, a dent. I don't see anything, but he's pointing to where a dent might be. The kid goes, okay, where are you saying the dent is? Here? Fine. He opens his door to its fullest extent, to where it would actually be touching the guy's car, and it is nearly 6 to 7 inches away from where the guy is saying
the alleged dent
is. And then the guy says, in response to, he says, I agree. And then in response to this, though, he says, but what you have to do that for? I mean, but I know your parents didn't raise you like that.
And then he was like, okay, go ahead and call the cops. Why would he call the cops? First of all, he didn't do anything. Second of all, there's no dent.
There's no dent. You're tripping, bro.
At the point of impact.
You are tripping. So just so you know that evil never dies. This is Jones in Florida, the same councilman who was arrested and charged with patronizing prostitution in an undercover operation in October 16, 2014. Now, in 2014, remember, Obama was president, and we didn't like this kind of thing, okay? But he is still in office, guys, okay? He's still in office in Florida, and that goes to show you.
I'm so confused because
never trust Florida.
That door did not hit and cause a dent where he said it was. And he just saw it with his own 2 eyes.
These white folk, these racists, are so empowered right now that they feel like any opportunity to express some dominance over a black person is just, they can't pass it up. They got to do it. And I say, get it on tape. That's all I can say. Get it on tape. But well done, young man. That was well handled. You were calm. You stood up to authority. You were polite. You were also you kept a sense of humor. And I salute you. Thank you. Yes, y'all. That's it. That's all I got. Anything else you want to add, Mel?
That's actually all I have as well, I think.
Cool. It's been a good, meaty show. Plenty of content for you guys. For you at your office cubicle tomorrow, bored doing TPS reports, you can listen to us and get outraged with us, and then nothing. And then we'll
maybe share it.
Yeah, then maybe share it. And subscribe, like it, share it with a friend.
Do those things.
If you're into it, we appreciate it. You can find us on wokewithkids.com when I decide to update the website, but it does exist.
And we're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Which I do post
under
to.
Woke with Kids.
We post to that every day, so that's fun. Keep you abreast of the news.
Feel free to check in with us.
Do that.
Leave a comment.
That's right. I'm on Instagram at Nyaze, Nyaze. If you want to follow me there.
I'm on Instagram at Melissa K, spelled out K-A-Y Anderson, on Instagram.
That's right. And we are a part of the Village Podcast Network. Check out our brother podcast, In the Black. Very masculine. Sorry, our brother podcast, In the Black. And also my other podcast with my brother from another, Algernon Billups, which is We Come From Bad News. So check us out, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you next time. Until then, stay woke. Bye.